Hello and welcome to Light. Today we are going to do a completely blind reaction to Little Miss Cute but Little Miss No Brain Cells of the Trump administration. I'm sure this is going to be fun! Kill me now. Here we go.
Let's bring
Ow. Let's get right into it.
Kayleigh McEnany. She's functioning with us today as the White House press secretary. So this news came a bit of a surprise when Krebs was fired. He came back, basically tweeted out that Chris Krebs he basically feels like he did the right thing. Did he have a pattern of things, Kayleigh? Did the president express to you that he was doing that bothered the president, or is it just this one?
Yeah, the president has pointed out that he made an inaccurate statement. He actually made a few, if you look at his Twitter feed. But
you could say that again.
But look, if you say that this was the most secure election in American history, as the president rightly pointed out, that may be true from a standpoint of foreign interference. But you just heard Griff Jenkins say there were 3 tranches of ballots uncounted that were found in Georgia, amounting to nearly 6,000 votes.
So, we are not 50 seconds in, and we are already experiencing critical levels of stupidity. First of all, 6,000 votes wouldn't sway the election. Second of all, you and your buddies have fought this in court, tooth and nail. You've had 16 different little court fights, right? And you're out here on Twitter and on Fox News every day, and you're screaming, "Hey, there's voter fraud everywhere! It's raining voter fraud! Help! It's critical voter fraud levels!" Okay, and then you get in a courtroom, and all of a sudden, when the court is, "Sir, do you swear under oath that you are alleging that there is voter fraud here?" Like, well, what was that, sir? Well, there's a little bit here and there. Maybe what I'm saying is some people didn't put that same address they used to have, and can we throw these votes out, please? Get this man out of my courtroom. That's all you've had so far. You're out here screaming that there's voter fraud everywhere, every single way you look. Oh my God, look, the seasons are changing. Every one of those leaves is an illegal ballot. And then you get in courtroom, and you're a bunch of simpering little fools, like you are in real life. You might want to keep your mouth shut.
You have 234 pages of sworn affidavits in Michigan and one
That's not
county
proof
alone alleging egregious misconduct by poll workers, pushing back observers, and even allegations of fraud in there. We have real questions in Pennsylvania. So to come out and say it's the most secure election in American history, that's just not an accurate statement, and it seems like a partisan attempt to just hit back at the president as he pursues important litigation.
So you think that Krebs had a political agenda there, was trying to take a shot at the president by saying something that he couldn't possibly have proven?
I don't know if it was a partisan agenda, a personal grievance, what it was, but it definitely seemed to be animated by something, and it seemed to go directly at this president and legitimate claims that
is so fucking vague. Oh my God.
He's pursuing in court.
Well, maybe the Department of Homeland Security just couldn't find anything.
Yeah, well, look down in Georgia. We have one recount going on right now, just one. There are others that may or may not happen, but
I don't even need to say anything. Just keep going, Kayleigh.
there's one going on, and you found nearly 6,000 ballots not counted. Just yesterday, we heard about a California man who planned to cast 8,000 votes in the name of deceased people and others that LA is now looking at. And there's a good article in the LA Times about that. So, maybe he should look around at just public news information that's out there, and he can find all the evidence he needs. That there are real questions that need to be asked because we need integrity in our election system.
If the president doesn't win and Joe Biden it's proven that he is the elected president.
What the fuck? Is somebody with a leaf blower going around in their fucking studio, like, shooting it everywhere while somebody's mowing the lawn right behind it? What the fuck is all this noise? I could barely hear this dumb bitch ask her dumb fucking question.
What happens with the transfer of power? Will it be peaceful?
Look, this president has always said he will engage in a peaceful transfer of power if the facts bear out that way. But the president believes in.
Okay. No. Run. He has not always said that he's going to do a peaceful transfer of power. In fact, every single time that he's been asked, I think he got asked like 8 or 9 times. Could be one of the two. Either one of those numbers is pretty sad. He got asked 8 or 9 times by reporters throughout this campaign, will you commit to a peaceful transfer of power should you lose on election day? And he just says, well, I'm not going to commit to anything. We'll have to see how it goes. That's never once committing to it, bitch. That's not, yes, I will commit to the peaceful transfer of power. Like Joe Biden said immediately the first time he was asked. No, when your guy was asked 8 or 9 times, he never said he would. So are you lying again, Kayleigh?
So too do many others, that if every legal vote is counted, he will remain president. He's pursuing litigation, but this president always wants what's in the best interest of our country.
Good one, bitch.
Interesting. I hear them using taking care of the grounds while you're out there. I admire your focus, Kayleigh. It's getting a little bit challenging.
No shit.
So we understand that the Biden team is getting concerned because they want to be able to coordinate on the coronavirus as well as intelligence issues. Do you think even if the president ends up finding votes that gets him the victory, it would hurt just to read the Biden people in, just so months down the line, if Joe Biden becomes president, he won't be able to say, hey, those months, if I only had those months back, we wouldn't have had these negative things happen?
Well, a few things. One, the administration is doing everything statutorily required for a transition. It is up to the GSA to what we call reach ascertainment for an election. They're independent of us, and they haven't declared that just yet. The former vice president receives an intelligence briefing. He does get that. He's been getting that for months. And I'd say this with respect to COVID. What this president has done, a vaccine in record time, ready to be manufactured, already manufactured, but ready to be distributed. A task force that's done an excellent job. A stockpile that was left.
So yet again, Trump tried to come out and take claim for this vaccine. Now, obviously, his little retarded puppies are as well. Operation Warp Speed had nothing to do with the vaccine that just got created that we're probably going to start mass producing. Let me just say that again. Operation Warp Speed, Trump's plan, had nothing to do with this vaccine, this particular one. Nothing. Zero. Zero. Nothing to do with it. So you're lying again, Kayleigh. I don't know why you keep coming on TV and lying. Why don't you lie in court? It'll be better for us all.
Empty by Obama Biden that he's filled up since then. He's left an infrastructure in place where COVID can be handled, and we believe that we will do so going forward in a second Trump administration.
All right, and the news this morning, I don't know if you heard about it an hour ago, but Pfizer has said that apparently their vaccine is 95% effective. Which joins Moderna, which is terrific. So we all want, a lot of people want to get, I think the latest public opinion poll was at least 60% of the people out there want to get that as soon as possible. But we know all across the country, Kayleigh, cases are spiking, unfortunately. And this is the week before Thanksgiving when families are going to be together. And there are a number of governors who are suggesting, look, you don't need to be in a big group. Particularly if people are outside your bubble. What do you think of these suggestions and guidelines some of the governors have given in advance of this? Because it is a super contagious disease.
Yeah, I think a lot of the guidelines you're seeing are Orwellian. Let me start by saying the CDC has put out
Orwellian. You really think that being safe during 100 years pandemic is Orwellian? The guidelines are they're Orwellian. Wear a mask. Don't have 150 people and all their kids at your house. Make sure that you're not all packed into a sardine can when you're eating your food at Thanksgiving. Orwellian? By the way, these are guidelines. These aren't laws. They're guidelines. They're so pussy of little things to rules that they're not even laws. They're just, hey, we have a suggestion for you. If you could please not pack your whole family and their kids and their extended cousins and kids into one little soup bowl for Thanksgiving. If you could do that, well, maybe we could eat LGBT stop the spread of it. You're freaking out about that and saying that's Orwellian? Man, I think that's one of those books you've never read, Kayleigh.
Considerations as we prepare to go about Thanksgiving, about socially distancing, wearing masks, doing what you can. There's a whole list, a page of very good considerations, and in that they say we're not recommending a certain number of people, but we are giving considerations that you should put in place. And I think that's the American way. The American people know how to protect their health. We've dealt with COVID for many months, but it's Orwellian in a place like Oregon to say if you gather in numbers more than 6, we might come to your house and arrest you and you get 30 days of jail time. That's not the American way. We don't lose our freedom in this country. We make responsible health decisions as individuals.
Right. And Kayleigh, let me
That
just
is
ask
so
you
out
one
of
follow-up
context.
question, and
Oh
that
my
is
God.
this. You know,
The Oregon thing is completely out of context. That was referring to if you're having giant neighborhood house parties. They might have to come knock on your door and break the party up. You fucking liar. You're just a liar. You've come on here. Everything you've said so far has been lies. These crazy Fox Friends news hosts have had to tell you, well, maybe there wasn't evidence there in the court, and that's why they haven't found it. Well, yeah, if you go look at Georgia, the 6,000 votes we're looking at because some of the people, you changed their middle initial, and they may have moved, so they changed their address, and that's voter fraud. You're such a liar, Kayleigh.
Nobody likes to have anybody tell people what they can and cannot do inside their houses. But it was a number of months ago that the White House effectively said, you know what, we're going to give the power to the governors to decide what to do. These are determinations by the governors what is required on the ground in their states. So ultimately, didn't the White House say, do what you want to do?
Yeah, of course. It's up to every state to do what they want to do, but there are consequences for those states. In New York, you've seen just this morning, I think Brian noted hundreds of thousands of people who have moved out of the city. So the American people, we're a freedom-loving people. We can make good decisions. We can wash our hands, wear masks, socially distance, but we can also
but don't.
also decide in our own personal domicile, our own home, whether we can have our family members present at any given time. That is the American way. That is freedom.
Kayleigh, earlier you were talking about the vaccine, and New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo is complaining because he thinks that the vaccines are coming out too quickly. Listen to this.
Why is it moving so fast? 2 reasons. Money and ego. The first drug company that has the vaccine, that is big money. You didn't need Trump to tell the vaccine companies you should develop a vaccine. He had nothing to do with it. President, it's ego. On the way out the door, he wants to be able to say, I solved COVID because I discovered a vaccine. Now, it's all BS. He didn't do anything. It's the drug companies.
Right.
And nobody's going to trust him saying it's a safe vaccine.
Oh, don't show the rest of the clip. Okay. Good job, Fox News and Kayleigh. Good job. Yeah, don't cut him off right before he says that now I will support this vaccine as soon as it goes through the FDA trials. I will, of course, support it because I support our institutions. Cut him off before he says that. Fair and balanced.
You know, Kayleigh, who cares if they make money? If a vaccine would save my mom.
I care that if they would make money, because that's the exact system that we have in fucking place, you dumb brain dead blockheaded fucking moron, that was absolutely responsible for all these people not being able to go to the hospital and get the fucking medical care they've needed for decades. So I kind of care if these random fucking companies are making money off of us getting sick. Why the fuck wouldn't you care?
From getting this, who has diabetes, who is on dialysis. She has to go to a facility 3 times a week. And
yeah, and she shouldn't have to pay for it!
We all worry about that. She had a stroke a few years ago.
Which she shouldn't have had to pay for!
She's in a wheelchair. I mean, if that vaccine could save my mom from getting COVID, because the likelihood of her...
And if you weren't a rich-ass fucking Fox News host and you were a normal fucking working-class person and your mom had all those problems, guess what else new problems she would have? Not the hospitals giving her great care. She would have to figure out how to fucking pay for it and how to sell her fucking kid's left arm to afford her medical bills, you evil fucking out-of-touch cunt.
of her surviving that.
Medical
pretty low.
bankruptcy,
I
number
don't
one
care if the
bankruptcy
drug
in this
company's
country.
making money. I want it out now.
I care!
Yeah, that's exactly right. What you see there from Andrew Cuomo is a very envious executive who made the horrible and mortal decision to...
Oh, he's the envious one, right? The media darling Cuomo. He's so jealous of Trump. Are you fucking kidding me?
put seniors in nursing homes with COVID back into those nursing homes, and we saw a tremendous amount of pain and loss in that state. This vaccine is...
The nursing home thing he did was bad. No one on the left is pretending it wasn't. That was horrible. I'm saying it right now. I'm as left as you can fucking go. I'm so left you can't see me anymore. It was bad the way he handled the nursing homes. You know what's worse? The way the fucking president, your guy, handled the entire fucking pandemic around the country. He did nothing. Zip. Nada. Nothing. Herd immunity. Herd immunity was his strategy to deal with a lethal pandemic. Herd immunity only works on non-lethal pandemics.
Possible because of hard work and because of Trump-style ingenuity. Back on January 13th,
Is this bitch for real?
This novel virus just came to our shores. President Trump had already partnered with Moderna, one of the successful vaccines. What were Democrats doing? They were trying to impeach the president over a baseless Ukraine phone call. What was Andrew Cuomo doing? Who knows? But he wasn't doing what was in the best interest of the people of New York.
Listen, warp speed, you break it down. It's one of the president's finest accomplishments. He got rid of all the paperwork and all the bureaucracy that would have stopped this vaccine. And he'll put the money in and bought the vaccine ahead of time, not knowing if it was going to work or not. That is why the military, who's already been drilling down on this, is ready to distribute it. For the governor there to be on 97.1 selling a book that no one should buy, it should be How Not to Handle the Coronavirus, is sickening. And for him to sit there and say it's the president's ego is an insult to anyone paying attention right now.
That's exactly right. We have this saying in the White House, do it in Trump time. What that means is do it faster than expected. You know, Dr. Fauci said this could take up to 18 months. What did this president do? Fastest vaccine.
What did this president do? He lied and said that people said it could have taken up to 18 years. What Fauci said is right. It could have taken up to 18 months. It's a very reasonable projection. Trump went out 2 to 3 days ago, and he said that, everybody was saying that it was going to take 8 years. It would have taken 8 years if another administration was in here. We got it done in 1 year. 1 year. Say it with me. 1 year. Okay, so, like you, what has President Trump done? Lied.
In American history, and it wasn't just found by the end of the year, it was produced in advance where 40 million
Yeah, we don't find vaccines out in the wild. Oh, look, we found another vaccine. Hurry, get a picture of it, Jim. Yeah, of course we didn't find it. God damn, it's like talking with a fucking caveman.
vulnerable Americans will have a vaccine by the end of the year. That is what we call Trump time. Andrew Cuomo might be unable to recognize it, but that's what hard work, ingenuity, and a businessman back there behind me in the West Wing does for the American people.
A loser who has no business.
Well, there were a
behind
couple
you, by the way,
on the hot seat yesterday on Capitol Hill, virtually. You had Jack Dorsey and Mark Zuckerberg from Twitter and Facebook, respectively, and they were being called on the carpet because apparently the Senate Judiciary Committee had a whistleblower who said, look, these are the tools that Facebook uses essentially to coordinate with the other platforms to censor people. And Jack Dorsey got called out about how Twitter locked the account of the New York Post when they were talking about Hunter Biden's overseas business dealings. And Jack Dorsey himself said, you know what? In hindsight, we got that wrong. But watch.
The Hunter Biden email thing, the recent one, was made by a computer-generated human who worked for a computer-generated company. So somebody hacked his computer, put out personal pictures of him, videos of him, and we're going to pretend like this was legitimate. This has been debunked 14 ways from Sunday. you might want to shut up about it by now and talk more about the fact that your buddy lost the election, is completely refused to concede the election, and seemingly will never go away until he's dead.
An enforcement decision we made against the New York Post based on a policy we created in 2018.
I'm gonna turn down the edge a little bit. I'm gonna mess up my hair. Woo! I'm happy. I turned into the Lord of Darkness for a little bit. We're light. We're light over here. Light. I am light. I can't be the void of darkness. Okay, now we're better.
To prevent Twitter from being used to spread hacked materials. This resulted in us blocking people from sharing a New York Post article, publicly or privately. We made a quick interpretation, using no other evidence, that the materials in the article were obtained through hacking, and according to our policy, we blocked them from being spread. Upon further consideration, we admitted this action was wrong and corrected it within 24 hours.
But that's not exactly right. It took 2 full weeks because Twitter was demanding that the New York Post take that down, delete that. The New York Post said nope, because it's not wrong. And so ultimately, 2 weeks later, Twitter caved. What did you learn from
It was wrong. Might want to look it up.
listening to those guys talk about their businesses, how it is influencing America?
Yeah, here's what I learned. So they apologized for the New York Post censoring, and you're right to say, Steve, it was 2 weeks, not 24, 48 hours. I learned that they apologized for Commission of Border Patrol Mark Morgan being banned. I myself got a public apology from Instagram when they banned me for sharing a story about Elizabeth Warren from none other than the Washington Post. What I learned is an apology in big tech is an admission of wrongdoing against a conservative. At what point is an apology an admission? We've reached that point because their bias goes one way, solely towards President Trump, his movement, the half of the country that professes conservative values.
So, Kayleigh, we know the president and Melania, the first lady, are going to celebrate Thanksgiving there at the White House. I know normally they go down to Mar-a-Lago. I know they're going to pardon the turkeys. Why they decide to stay in D.C. this year?
Well, the president's hard at work. He's hard at work on COVID, among other issues.
He's hard at work hiding in his bunker and golfing when he can, right? He has been hard at work being a dejected, knowingly rejected, failed one-term president who's on his way out. That's what he's hard at work on. And the only things he's trying to do left are bomb Iran and fuck up as many possible things he can real fucking quick right before Biden gets in there. That's what he's hard at work doing. He hasn't been hard at work on COVID since it got here, and since he's found out about it all this year later, he still hasn't done anything, and he's not going to do anything later. He does not give a flying fuck about this disease. Stop lying, please.
Iraq, bringing our men and women home. He's hard at work, and so
Nope.
he's staying here at the White House, and it will be a lovely Thanksgiving for him and the First Lady here in the White House.
Okay, yeah, go fuck yourself. So, in conclusion, I'm glad I didn't watch that beforehand because I might have gotten way too sick to watch it just now. Holy shit. And I wouldn't have had anything to put on my channel today. So, that was my live off-the-top reaction to this random dumb fuck bitch. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I sure as hell didn't. But I do enjoy making things for you guys. So, I want you to subscribe to the light below. You can follow me on Twitter. You could leave a like if you did like the video. And, with all that said, the light is coming.